pores are sweating. That is sweat. I think my eyeballs are sweating. Woo!
Hey, what's going on, everyone? From Offseason Media, I'm Ryan Harris, and you're watching Hot Win Jr. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today we're joined with Coach Matt Durchik. You might know Coach Durchik from being the head coach at 5A for the past 5 years. You can see him as the latest addition to the Sun Lake football team as the new D-line coach. And you can get a taste of his meat from being your local pitmaster. Coach Durchik, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So I know you told me before that you almost did this at your old school, and
Yeah, I was in charge of the news crew at our old
Okay.
school, our morning news, and they started doing just a Hot Ones thing with local teachers in
Okay.
school, and they did a couple episodes, but didn't get a time to record me before I left. So
well, welcome here.
thank you.
So how do you think you're going to hold up today?
I think I'll do okay. I like spicy foods, so
Yeah.
we'll see. Yep, let's go.
Okay. So sharpen the handle and just make your way forward.
All right.
He's pulling it apart. That's a better move.
Is there any hot sauce on this one?
Well, I remember you said that 'cause this one's very light compared to all these ones.
No, I'm just teasing.
So Coach, let's go back a few years from 2010 to 2016.
Okay.
When you were assistant football coach at 5A. But during the same time, you were also the head track coach.
Mm-hmm.
But in January of 2016, you became the head coach at 5A. What is it like going from an assistant coach to a head coach?
Well, first of all, I think every coach who gets into coaching wants to be a head coach someday.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really excited at the time because, as an assistant coach, you can submit your ideas to the head coach on how you'd like things done, but obviously the final say has got to come down to one person.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you finally get to be a head coach, you kind of get a chance to see if your ideas are going to be successful or not. And I worked for a really good, successful head coach before me who became our athletic director. So he's still at the school, so I can still go to him on things. But there's some things I wanted to tweak and some things I wanted to do my own way. So I was excited for the challenge and just to see if that's what was right for me for what I wanted to do.
So what are some responsibilities that a head coach has that not everyone might think they do?
Well, sorry. I'm enjoying the ones that aren't too high yet. So
Yeah.
Fundraising is a big one. High school football. A lot of people don't know ticket sales, concessions. A lot of that doesn't go to the football program. That'll go to the athletic department as a whole. So high school sports in general, we got to do a lot of fundraising to support your own sport. And football being the largest in participation, you have a lot more people to take care of. Like the volleyball coach could run a camp in the summer and buy gear for her whole team because she may only have 20 to 25 kids. Where on a football team you have 60 to 80 to 100 kids. It gets expensive to support all that kind of stuff. So fundraising was a big one.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that part.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that, I found out as a head coach that you don't get to coach as much. I wasn't an individual position coach anymore. I wasn't even, sometimes I was a coordinator depending on the different years, but you spend a lot of time handling the program that you don't get as much individual time working with the kids and actually coaching a position or that side of it. So.
Now I'll get back to why you left as a head coach, D-line coach later.
Okay.
But you ready to move on to the next one?
Sure.
All right.
Queen Majesty.
This is probably one of my favorite sauces.
Scotch bonnet. Still not feeling the heat, right?
Not yet. Not yet.
Let's go good flavor. Sorry.
So, now here at Sun Lake, you're the D-line coach. But was there a learning curve from being a high school quarterback and to ultimately ending up as a defensive line coach?
Yeah, I think so. When I was an assistant at 5A, for a couple of years I ran the JV team. I was a head JV coach. And so I believe one of those years I did coach a D-line. But mostly my experience coaching and playing has been the offensive side of the ball. So and then more of a skill position, quarterback, defensive back. I don't look like it anymore, but that's what I played. But I think there's enough resources out there on YouTube and on the internet nowadays. There's guys I follow on Twitter with just getting an idea on how different defensive line techniques are taught. And I think something I learned along the way too is, as a coach, you can learn to coach anything if you're a good coach. You know?
Yeah.
You can learn the position-specific stuff. Being a coach is just being a good teacher and developing those relationships. So I think, yeah, it's a little bit different for me, but I've coached offensive line a little bit over the years and defensive line a little bit. So it's a challenge that I like, and I think it's going to be a strength for our team this year. So it's fun for me to work with that side.
Yeah, for sure. So, in fact, tell us about your time, playing high school quarterback. That seems like the dream position.
Yeah, well, we didn't start tackle football until 8th grade in my hometown. So I played soccer growing up, baseball, track, every other sport. And then in 8th grade, lived in a town that was a college town. And so that's how we went there. My dad was a college football coach, and then my parents divorced and he left. And then a couple years later, family came in, and he had 2 sons. One was my age, one was 2 years older, but they were a lot taller and a lot more athletic than me. So actually my 8th grade year, I played cornerback and slot back. And then they moved out the next year, and I ended up being the quarterback. So for freshman through senior year, I was a quarterback. In my high school, in Illinois where I grew up, they had a freshman team, a sophomore team, and then a varsity team. So it's a little bit different from down here where you have JV and varsity. So as a freshman, I got to be the starting quarterback for the freshman team. As a sophomore, I was starting quarterback for the sophomore team.
Oh, yeah.
And then as a junior, I came up, and there were 2 senior quarterbacks ahead of me that I think, looking back, we were probably comparative skill-wise, but they had more experience than me. And so they ended up starting one of the kids over me, and the other kid broke his hand. But I just worked hard, and the coaches saw value in me. I ended up being the starting free safety that year. So my junior year in high school, I was a free safety. I played a little bit of quarterback and mop-up positions. And then senior year, I ended up being our starting quarterback. And we went, in Illinois, you play 9 games instead of 10, and there's no preseason game. So,
wow.
So we went up 8-1, made the playoffs, and then won 1 playoff game, then lost by 2 points in the second round.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then that team went 2 more rounds, so we thought we probably could have gone to the state semifinals that year. But
damn.
Yeah. We're in field goal range, and I threw an interception, actually. We're in field goal range, and our coach called a pass play, and it was 2nd and 1. And I could have audibled. I didn't at that time, and we had a pretty good fullback, and ended up, I had thrown a state record to my receiver. He had like a state record in receiving yards that game, and so I threw to our other receiver, thinking that they were going to key on him, and I overthrew him.
Oh, man.
And so they got the ball back and ran out the clock. So it's one of those things that kind of turned 50 this summer, and I still remember that play. So
Yeah.
some of that stuff sticks with you.
All right, so whenever you're ready to move on.
Oh, I'm good. Yeah.
All right.
This one's Fiji Fire. We gotta promote the sauces here.
Good.
How do you eat the flats?
Normally I just go at it, but I know there's some technique that people put into there. But breaking this and pulling out, and you got like a little meat stick.
I've seen them push it down and pull. I've not been able to perfect that one yet.
Yeah. No, I just normally want to show people and just go like that and just pull it out. That's pretty easy.
I used to be a drum guy. But now
Really?
I think the meat's better on the flats. So
You do get more for what's in there, I think.
that's a good flavor too.
So, after resigning as head football coach, Principal Jason Jones said, quote, 5A High School Athletics wishes to announce that head football coach Matt Durchik has informed us that he's resigning from his role as head football coach, end quote. How do people feel? How do you feel to leave a school that you've been with for 11 years? And how did the rest of the team handle it?
I knew this question was coming. And it was tough. I first got into teaching midlife. I was 35. I actually taught at Paul R. Middle School for a year. And then I went to Cruz Lake Middle School when they opened up to Spring Hill. And was there for 2 years, and that's when 5A opened up, and I applied for a job and got there. And I kind of thought that I would like to be there forever.
Yeah.
It was a school that's Title I, lower income families, kids that don't have two-parent homes a lot, and so I kind of wanted to help be there and be successful and help them grow. And we had some good years and bad years athletically and in the school. And Mr. Jones came in. He's a newer principal. He was our 5th principal since I'd been there.
Oh wow!
And had two pretty successful seasons, I thought, at football. But at the end of the year, we met and kind of had different ideas on where the program wanted to go. And so it was a tough decision for me to step down at that time. Number one, you don't want to admit failure.
Yeah.
Number two, I didn't want to. I wasn't ready to hang up the whistle yet, so to speak. And so and some of my players took it hard, And so I kind of reached out to some of them individually to let them know what's going on, because there's always coach speak about there on why you resigned, and you say family and time commitments, and that ties into some of it, but also just sometimes it's good to change. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'd known Coach Burdick for a long time, and I'd known Coach Browning. You know
Yeah.
Coach Browning? You probably heard of him. He
Yeah,
comes
I've
out
heard
games,
of him. I've met him.
And so he was always a well-respected coach in the county, and Coach Burdick reached out to me after it went down at 5A and just said, hey, if you ever want to coach again, let me know. And it took a few weeks and thought about it and met with my wife, because it's a huge commitment, obviously. And so, yeah. Change is good sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's less responsibility. I can say my quality of life as an assistant coach, I don't know if it's better, but it's, it is better, just because there's a lot of pressure being a head coach no matter what. You think it's just high school football, but there's a lot of pressure to win and be successful.
So speaking of your wins, with your last season going 6-3, you qualified for the playoffs.
Correct.
But due to COVID, you couldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
How did that being your last season as the head coach? How did you feel, and how did the rest of the team respond to that?
It's probably one of my toughest seasons coaching last year. Personnel-wise, dealing with some personalities on our team, going through the COVID protocols, and then we lost our first game to River Ridge in a close game that we thought we could win, and so and then we had to play Gaither, who was in our district, and so it was a tough loss. So those were 2 big losses at the beginning of the year. But I think through the season, getting back into the swing of things, we had the delay in August where we had to wait a couple weeks to start.
Yeah.
And so just getting back out into practice and playing and getting back to a semi-normal helped a lot. They say 6-3, but they give that playoff loss to me as a forfeit.
Oh.
So, in my own personal record, I'll say 6-2.
Okay, that's fair.
Officially, it's 6-3. It was tough. We actually, the week going into the playoffs, we were going to play Hollins, and we had some injuries at running back, so we brought a freshman running back up to practice with us that week, and he unfortunately was the one who tested positive and found out on Wednesday night.
Oh,
And
wow.
so they had to cancel. We had to cancel our JV game that Thursday, and then cancel the playoff game that Friday.
Wow.
And then I think the toughest part was all those kids on the team got quarantined. So we had to pull them one by one and tell them, especially the seniors, that their season and their career is over.
Yeah.
That was a tough way. Luckily, we were able to reach out to some other schools in River Ridge. Even though they had gotten beat in the playoffs, they agreed to play us one last final game.
That's nice.
So we ended up getting, it was the Saturday before Thanksgiving, we played River Ridge, and we were able to get, that was going to be our senior night for our seniors, so it was a nice way to
Good.
close things out for
Yeah.
those guys, so that helped us
For sure.
finish
for
this
sure.
thing out strong that way. So. Which one is this?
This one is.
Are we Chiba Gold now, or do
Yeah,
we already
Chiba
pass
Gold,
it?
right.
Okay. Are you sure we're not past that one yet? No.
Nope, not yet. Not yet.
I'm starting to warm up a little
Yeah.
bit.
So, you cook a lot of different meals, and football watching snacks, as you said. Sorry. What is your personal favorite way to cook a brisket?
I've only done one, so.
Oh, really?
Brisket. I've always gotten a little bit leery of cooking it because they're expensive and I didn't want to mess it up. So I smoked the brisket the one time. Got a good deal at Winn-Dixie. I think I was actually there getting my vaccine for COVID and they had a deal on meat. So I was like,
All right.
I'll grab this brisket and see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Do it with the ring smoking.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's easy.
On July 11, 2021.
This year.
Yeah, you visited the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
What did you order?
What did I have? Some sort of chicken meal. It was was my wife's birthday, and she loves going to a Cheesecake Factory on her birthday. My daughter was actually flying out to go on vacation with her boyfriend, and so we were taking her down to Sarasota. So we went to the Cheesecake Factory down there, and it was chicken. It wasn't Marcella. It was a grilled chicken with a mushroom sauce on it. It was really good. With their mashed potatoes. I did get the key lime pie cheesecake to take home. So that was good.
That's her favorite key lime pie.
Yeah.
All right, so now this one is Los Calientes.
Los Calientes.
That's number 5.
We're number 5. We're getting to the mediums now.
Yep. This one's getting a little bit hotter.
Have you finished all your wings, or are you just taking bites?
For the most part, I finished all my wings.
Okay.
But up
Now you get up here?
That's
Yeah.
when it's like, yeah, a little shaky. All right, ready?
Yep.
So, here at the number 5 wing, we like to play a game called This or That. So, I'm gonna ask you something. You just tell me what you like more, this or that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, cooking a steak or cooking a brisket?
I think steak.
There.
And being a teacher, we're not the richest people in the world, so I used to just buy sirloins. And again, I saw a sale on ribeyes one time, and now I'm spoiled. I only want to cook ribeyes or New York strips. I don't want to go back to the sirloins.
Watching college football or the NFL?
College.
Why college?
NFL's more entertainment. I think college you still have a little bit more variety until you get to the top few teams. Talent-wise, and so you don't really know who's going to win all the time. NFL's more, professionalized, more entertainment.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like more bigger football fans like college more than the NFL. So during the offseason, football, track or weightlifting season?
Is that during the off season?
Yeah.
I like track.
Track?
I like them both, but I think, as a football coach, I like to see kids compete, and track was always fun for me to seeing the kids compete one-on-one and seeing kids succeed that way. And weightlifting is is similar too, because we didn't have a competitive weightlifting where I grew up, so seeing a chance for these kids to go to conference districts and states is neat for that.
All right, so that wraps up number 5.
That was an easy one. I keep saying that. I'm going to pay for it.
You will.
Where does it hurt?
Just wait. I promise you, it's coming. It's coming.
Are all these on this? I can't say that. Never mind. Edit that out.
What?
Are all these on the Hot One show, or are these just?
So this one, and this one are actually Hot Ones branded sauces,
Okay.
and then the rest of these like the bomb. It's always a big feature.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you just gather from different seasons and you just kind of put something together. All right, sorry.
So what is this one? This is the Heartbeat?
Yeah, Heartbeat Scorpion.
Okay. This is from? No, this is not from.
Not their branded, but they do.
They do
on the
this
show.
at the show. Sorry, I don't mean to reference the show.
It's good, right? Free advertisement for them?
Is Scorpion a type of pepper?
Yeah. The Scorpion.
That one's good too.
Mm-hmm. More heat to that, not too much.
My lips are burning.
Not. So not only are you just a football coach, but you used to teach science, and now you're a reading and business teacher at Sun Lake. In your career, what has been your favorite subject to teach?
Wow. I think science was probably the most interesting, just because in science there's cool things to do. There's experiments and things like that. But that was my first year teaching. That was kind of the toughest subject also. My degree in college was in business administration. And focused on marketing. And so business was kind of just right on the certification and then when I came to Sun Lake, the job they hired me for was half business, half reading. So I got my reading certification too. So there's some parallels. Again, teaching and coaching, it's developing relationships with your students, your players, and getting them wanting to work. That's the biggest thing for me. It sounds kind of cheesy, but I used to work in sales and retail and a lot of different things, and I wanted to get into teaching and coaching because I wanted to make a difference in kids' lives. And so I'm doing that. So that's why I enjoy what I'm doing. So it doesn't really matter the subject to me. It's developing relationships with the kids so they want to come to school and want to succeed.
So on a completely unrelated note, if you you just scroll through Twitter a little bit,
Uh-oh.
there's a constant retweet that you keep sending out. It's Daniel Craig saying,
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend?
Yep. So what?
I don't know. It's just Friday night. Hey, the weekend's
Okay.
here. It's time to have a good time.
Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. You always do it on a Friday, right?
Yeah.
He's introducing the band the weekend,
Yep.
right? So yeah, that's fun.
And
I only do it on Fridays.
yeah. Okay, so now we have a bourbon hot sauce.
Alrighty. I can go with bourbon. And ghost pepper.
Yeah. So. So, what are some of your expectations for players in the offseason?
I think nowadays you've always got to be doing something. Whether it's playing another sport, whether it's in the weight room, it's on the weightlifting team, which is a sport. I like kids to play other sports just for they get varied instruction.
Mm-hmm.
They learn different skills in different sports, and I think kids burn out on similar sports. Growing up, I mean, depending on the season, depending on what sport I was in. All my friends growing up were in, spring was for baseball, spring and summer baseball, track, soccer, basketball was wintertime. Couldn't really do as much outside sports up north because of the winter. So it was basketball, wrestling, that kind of stuff in the wintertime. So that's a little bit more. I can feel that was a slow burn.
Yeah.
That's the ghost pepper kicking in, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
So I be involved. Obviously, you want to focus on your academics. A lot of times during the season, you're with the kids every day, so you're watching them. But in the off season, some of those kids slide.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that they're staying focused on the academic side too. So.
For sure. So as a former head coach, how did you manage playing time for each player?
Wow. That was tough because we have a lot of kids. With something like that. At 5A, it was a lot easier just because, heck, at varsity, we'd have 25 to 30 kids every year. And so playing time kind of just worked itself out based on who worked the hardest and who wasn't tired. So when you have more talented kids and more a quantity of kids, really you got to look at what's best for the team. And going back to my dad, and my dad was a lifelong coach. I mean, he coached high school, college, and the professional ranks in the Canadian Football League. And talked to him a lot when I was head coach looking for advice, and a lot of the time it was mostly, what is best for the team. And so sometimes it's hard to give that message to individual kids. Sometimes kids work their butts off, but they may not be as talented as another kid, and so they don't earn the playing time as much. And so you got to try to find places where those kids can feel part of the team still. Maybe it's special teams, maybe an injury, and that's the thing with football. Any given play, your number could be called. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, they're getting warm now.
Yeah.
That was the ghost pepper one, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh. Where did Quinn tap out? After the bomb? After this one?
So now we're here. So, whenever you want to move on.
We can move on.
All right, ready?
Go for some water. Oh wait, I thought we were just gonna go to the next question. I didn't think about it.
Oh no, sorry about that.
You're only doing one bite per wing now. Come on.
This one hurts.
I think my pores are sweating. That is sweat. I think my eyeballs are sweating. Woo! I can see why Quinn didn't like that one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wipe my face.
Yeah, don't do that.
Is the next one better?
I wish. So, we all know that bones suck. So, besides that, what are some of your go-to punishments?
Man. Punishments. I think, maybe I'm a softie, but I'm not a big on physical punishment that person. I'm more of a, wow, that tastes bad.
Yeah.
Talk to a kid, explain to them what your expectations were, where they fell short of your expectations, why, hopefully they won't continue to make that expectations. But I also see the benefit of bones because kids hate doing bones too. So, Took me a while to learn as a teacher and a coach that, kids don't like to be called out in front of their friends or yelled at. And so a lot of times for me, pull the kid aside and just talk to them one-on-one to let them know more what I want to see out of them versus actual punishment. I mean, you can make kids run laps. I think one that I saw on Last Chance U was the law rules across the field too. That stinks too. So.
Yeah. So maybe not an individual punishment, but as a team punishment, what's...
Again, I'm a softie, and maybe that's what was my downfall somewhat as a coach, because I know sometimes people think Coach Burdick is maybe too hard on the kids, but also it's a good motivation to hold you accountable to your teammates too. So always extra sprints or something you can do. I think the worst punishment is take away playing time.
Yeah.
Because that's why kids football's a different sport than everything else because you only get one game a week and there's only so many games. Or play baseball, basketball, soccer, you're playing 2-3 games a week. So taking away one game from a football player is a lot more biggest punishment than maybe for other sports. So, all right, thank you, Ryan. Hold on those high.
Oh man. So some people, myself included, before I started playing football, never really understood the concept why football coaches yell so much.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe someone who doesn't understand, like my mom. Hey mom, why do football coaches yell?
There's different philosophies on that too, and I've probably changed over the years. Growing up around my dad, I learned a lot of choice words growing up, going to college football practices at a young age. Obviously, you try not to swear at the high school level. I try to keep that to a minimum to none. Because you can get your point across without using those words.
Dag nabbit.
I use a lot of those
Jiminy
words.
Christmas.
Alabama Jiminy Christmases. Yelling, I think a lot of times it's just a focus thing, trying to get the kids focused on what they're doing. Especially during games, there's a lot of stuff going on. Some of it could be frustration too. And all of that's controllable, I think, by the coach, because again, sometimes I like to have fun in practice and get things a little loose, and then you've got to refocus the kids.
Yeah.
One of my former players just put something on Facebook saying, what's something funny one of your coaches did, and this is when I was an assistant coach, and he said, Coach Durchik, it's not like, he said it's just a funny thing that he would do. He said he'd be all chill, he'd just be talking to you, and all of a sudden he'd start screaming at you out of nowhere. You're like, what's that about? And then he would say, yeah, Coach Taylor was watching it, because my head coach was watching it. Because my head coach was a yeller, and he didn't think you were coaching hard unless you were getting on the kids. So he's like, it was the funniest thing. You'd just be chill working with Coach Durchik, and all of a sudden he'd start screaming at you out of nowhere. But, I think for the majority, and the vast majority, high school is going to be the last time these kids play football, organized football. And so I think you should have fun while you're doing it too. So.
For sure, yeah.
Now, winning's also fun, and losing sucks. So if you're not doing the things in practice to help you win, then you can't just have fun time, play around time all the time either. So.
That's true.
This one's hotter but tastes better, you say?
I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Okay.
It's not as hot as the bomb.
Really? So why do you put the bomb there in that order?
Technically, if you look at the Scoville level, this is almost 6 times as hot as this.
I don't even think I want to look at the Scoville levels of these.
This one's 135,600. This one's 660,000.
Oh, geez.
669,000, sorry. And a fresh jalapeno is about 5,000.
That has much better flavor than the bomb. Whoa. I don't know if it's a residual from the bomb or new heat. I don't know.
The bomb just burns you out.
I like this flavor, this one though.
Yeah.
Pucker butt.
So, how does a line coach come up with plays for the entire season? Because maybe a quarterback coach or a wide receiver coach, they might write different plays depending on which team, depending on what film they got on them. So how would a line coach write a playbook for the rest of the year?
Yeah, really. On defense, it's different because you're looking to see, I think, as an offensive coach going in here, I'll do it opposite and then come back to it. As an offensive coach, you go into a game, you're looking to see how you can attack the defense. Where's their weak point, how they line up to certain things. You're always trying to outnumber the defense. And so that's why we run a lot of counter plays or trap plays or power plays, because it will line up strength one way and then you'll try to move the strength the other way where you have, how did we defend that? And so it's not really coming up with new plays because there's not a lot of new things anymore. So every coach copies somebody else. It's just trying to find out where to put your best players in the best position to attack that offense, I think. And that's something, I went to a football clinic actually this spring in Daytona Beach, which was kind of nice. But every coach that talked to defense there talked about when you game plan, identify the duck on the other side. Like, what's the duck? Who's the worst player on the other team? Where do they line that kid up, and how can you attack? So, as a defensive player, okay, we're going to design our blitzes or call our blitzes around their worst offensive lineman or their worst blocking back, or if they keep running back in the block or a tight end in the block.
Yeah.
As an offensive coach, you're going to say, okay, who can we attack? Who's their weakest defensive lineman? Who's their weakest linebacker? Who's their weakest coverage person? How can we attack that person with our best player? So it's more, I think, a chess game of lining up your best pieces against the other team's weakest pieces and trying to take advantage of that. The last one.
Yep.
Can't be worse than the bomb, right?
Nothing's worse than the bomb there, coach. But I will give you this. It is the last dab.
Yeah.
Put a little extra dab on the last
This
one.
is extra sauce?
Yeah, it's already sauce.
It's already sauce, but we got the last dab.
Extra dab on there.
Is this the dab? No.
No.
Is that showing I'm old now? The dab's out?
I still dab around them, so.
Or is this a dab? Dab me up?
Alright. That's a fist bump, but.
Oh. Do you know why the fist bump came about? There was a Major League Baseball team, and one of the players' sons hung around a lot, and he never washed his hands after he went to the bathroom, so the players would fist bump instead of high five. So that's where I heard the fist bump came about.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I ripped the bone out. I gotta bite it.
Alright,
Get it on my lips. The dab. Is there a good question that comes with the dab?
Oh, we don't put a question.
Oh, we don't? There's no
just
question
put
for
your
that?
intro out.
It hit my throat.
Oh!
That's hot. Oh,
2 million Scoville.
that should be outlawed.
You alright?
Like when I took a bite, I breathe. Hit the back of my throat.
Alright, coach. 10 wings up, 10 wings down. You know, you got 2 cameras to look at. Tell the people at home what you got going on.
What I got going on? 2 weeks left of summer. Just got done teaching summer school. So
Oh, I didn't realize there was 2 weeks left.
football starts August 2nd and teaching starts August 3rd. So looking to have some fun time with my family these last 2 weeks. Get ready for school and football starting, and my youngest son is going off to college. So that's another big thing coming up. So.
I know you have Twitter. You want to plug that? Instagram?
Oh, I'm at Coach Durchik. You know, I'm no fun. I just like to retweet things. And my daughter says I'm boring. All I do is retweet coaches' quotes and things like that. But
Yeah, I have to have notifications on for all my coaches in case anything changes during practice.
well, actually, as an assistant coach, I feel I can be a little bit more daring on the social media.
Yeah.
As a head coach, you got to kind of maintain an air of professionalism. So I try to have a little bit more fun now that I'm assistant coach. So.
Yeah, well.
I survived.
Yep, you did. Congratulations,
Did
coach.
I do well?
I mean, you went all the way through, right?
Already.
So, not everyone can say that.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
The bomb and the triple X I would never eat again.